Hello, my 102ers. If you are watching this video, you're still enrolled in the summer section, so that's wonderful news. Hopefully, my first week's videos didn't turn you off to watching another one. I'm really not that bad, I promise. I just get passionate about the topic, and I also don't want to be that boring talking head on screen that makes you go to sleep. So let's just keep going. I swear that this week's material is not nearly as dense and video intensive as last week's was. So once again, let me show you what the announcement's going to look like when it's posted. When you're watching this video, it's already posted, so there you go. Basically, I've got my little quick introduction. I tell you what we did in week 1 and why it was so important. What you're going to be doing in week 2. And as you can see this week, we only have one assignment. You'll see that in a second. And then my weekly reminder that the video is very important to watch. I don't know how long this one's going to be just yet, but we'll find out together. Then we have down here material that's coming up. So the actual first paper that you're going to write, the literature review assignment, is due in week 3, which is next week, not this week. And I also have the literature review directions and sample, which is attached right here underneath the assignments. You can click on this. And once you click on that, you will see this page pop up. We're going to go over this one this week. Then we have what to read on the announcement. You can see you have four pages to look through, and that will be very helpful. And then we have the assignment itself. It's due on Sunday, May 26th, 2024 by 11:59 p.m. Eastern. It's the Literature Review Planner. We're going to go over that as well. So, once you get through the announcement, we can actually go down and take a look at the 102 Masterclass schedule. So, underneath Zoom, underneath who your instructor is, there is the course schedule. We click on it, and we're going to be looking at week 2. So, once that comes up, scroll down here to week 2, and once again, we have 4 things to read. This is a little self-check, which would be helpful if you wanted to do it. It's not going to be graded. And then we have our assignment over here. A reminder that we will not be open from Saturday to Monday for Memorial Day, so you're not going to be getting any replies on emails. Just plan ahead. If you email me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, I'll be more than happy to reply to you, okay? But the rest of the weekend, it's going to be busy for you, busy for me. It's going to be a little crazy, okay? So, yeah. Really only one assignment, you know? That's pretty cool, right? I mean, I think it's cool, but what do I know? I'm only the guy grading them. So, to start, let's click on choosing search terms for sources, and we get to this page here. Jumping into it, it's a quick shot of understanding where to start with search terms. Truthfully, I'm not too keen on this page, as some of the information is nowhere detailed enough, and some is antiquated and incorrect. So let me give you some ideas. The research plan here isn't a real bad one, with a couple of tweaks. You're already selecting the debatable or academic topics, so that's number 1. You've done that. Read more about my topic, develop research questions, make a list of search terms to answer the research questions. That's great. You obviously must do all that, but the research questions must be developed and listed. Then you create the search terms to look up your sources? See the problem here? In order to read more about the topic, you actually have to search for the sources. So how can you read in step 2 when you're searching down in step 4? Basically, you need to select the topic, generate the research questions, get the search terms, and find the sources to read in that order. Once you do that, then you go back and ask better questions or revise the old ones, and you do the process over and over again. It's more cyclical and less only 4 steps. Make sense? Okay. So the next part I kind of disagree with completely. First, there was a search engine in the days before man. So, no, it was a really old search engine before Yahoo, before Google, and before Bing. It was called Ask Jeeves. And the way to get what you wanted was to ask Jeeves, who was portrayed as a cartoon butler, by the way. Kind of like a dorky Alfred from Batman. You asked him a question, a literal question. And just because Jeeves has long since retired doesn't mean that you still can't ask questions if you can't get started. The point that whomever wrote this page is trying to get across is that the volume of the words that you use within the search will affect your returned results. The more words you put in, the less results you get back. The less you put in, the more you will get back. Why? The search looks for all of the words mentioned. So if a search is too specific, you're going to miss some things. If you're going to put in Medical Practice Gettysburg, you might actually be getting results telling you that the Gettysburg Medical College also practices golf on Thursdays. You have to add certain keywords like Civil War in quotes, and then take out certain things like adding a hyphen for minus and the word golf to eliminate that result. These things are called Boolean or Boolean operators. You can use a plus sign for and, or a minus sign for not, or the words and, or not to manipulate the results accordingly. Then, underneath this, we have the absolute need by some instructor somewhere that you have to use Credo. No. It is my least favorite of all the databases that we have access to. You are 100% welcome to use it, but you are not required to do so. I think CRAAP is actually much nicer, okay? So you can use Credo here, and that's fine and dandy and fine, but I don't really think that you need to use it. So you can go here and click on this to get to Credo reference, or once again, if we go back to the portal page, I'm going to go to Student Resources, go back to the portal page, look over here, on the right side, you'll see Student Success Toolbox. Find Library, click on that, and then right here, under the second block, is Databases. There's Credo, there's EBSCOhost, which is an old favorite, the New York Times, which I talked about in the first week, and you have CRAAP, which I think is a really nice place to start. All of these databases are there for you to use, included within your Delaware Tech tuition, and all you have to do is just log in through Delaware Tech. If you try to log into CRAAP or EBSCOhost from Google, they might ask you to pay a membership fee. You don't have to do that through Delaware Tech, okay? So remember, we go to the portal page, Student Resources, down here on the right, Student Success Toolbox, Library, Databases. And there you go. Perfect, isn't it? Okay. So there's our Credo. Again, if there are any questions or concerns, please let me know. I'm more than happy to answer them, but just think ahead, okay? All right. After this, we have... Let me close that one and close that one. There we go. After that, we have finding sources on the internet. Ooh, it's a big page. Okay, great. It's pretty basic, but it's necessary to remind you of one of the most important rules for looking for anything on the internet. Just because it's on the web does not mean it's true. It is so much more important in today's world that you verify everything. Whether you're talking about AI-generated content, or deepfakes, or just people who are photoshopping things, it doesn't matter. You know, a lot of the times you should be able to tell very quickly, but things are getting a little bit tricky. So please understand that just because you can find it on the internet does not make it real. So this page is here to keep you, really focused on that. Keep it in your head. Just because you can find it with a few clicks doesn't mean it's worthwhile. I would recommend watching this video. It's not something I'm going to require, but it's recommended. Because honestly, it's a pretty good video made for Google search tricks, okay? Very few of you know how to actually use Google, rather than just going in there and typing in a word or two and then looking at the first result. There are actually some search tricks that you can use to help you find date-specific ideas and not other things, and only looking in certain pages. It's really helpful. You can trust this material was compiled in an above-board way. Now, the middle section here is really helpful because it kind of shows you how to use some Google tips and tricks, like the site qualifier. Down here, using the and or, and that's really helpful. It's going to show you here. I'm only going to look at governmental sites. about childhood obesity and food stamps. That means only sources with .gov in the URL mentioning childhood obesity and food stamps will come back. If it's just food stamps, it won't. If it's just childhood obesity, it won't. It'll be both, okay? The helpful websites here are really helpful because all of these sites are relatively compiled in that above-board way. It's got a collection of reputable news sites, which are close to the middle as possible. We live in a world right now where everything has a left-leaning or a right-leaning bias. So finding a website which splits the difference, it's really good, okay? So a lot of these are very helpful. Don't be afraid to click on them and save those links, okay? One of the things... Oh, wait, no, I'm going to save that for the next site. There we go. Problematic websites. You know, they say about Wikipedia, it's a problem. It's not. Wikipedia is a great website. It's just a tool, okay? You're not going to use a screwdriver to hammer a nail. You're not going to use an air pump to tie up your sleeping bag, okay? A tool is a tool, and it's used for a specific reason. So Wikipedia is a great place to go to get your feet wet on your topic, but you don't stop the research there. You use the sources that are mentioned there, and you go forward, okay? So that's really good. Procon.org, yeah, that kind of sucks. Don't use that one. It's a decent site to see the whole picture, but it doesn't lock onto one side or the other, so it's not great for an argument. It's basically a both sides website, okay? University Wire is, it's okay. It's not great, and we don't want you to use it because, honestly, it's all student writing. So research and attention to detail may not always be the best. It's basically students who are writing for their college classes that are updating them, okay? Don't use it if you can't. Personal blogs and websites, not a really good one. There's always bias in them. I have a blog, for God's sake. And you know what? I'm biased like you wouldn't believe. So do not use personal blogs and websites because they are basically ramblings and opinions of the site's author. There's rarely any facts to be had. Finally, they mention commercial websites. Now, I understand what they're trying to say. You don't ever try to use a site that is trying to sell you something. If you go to McDonald's.com, it's going to tell you why the Big Mac is great and why the Whopper is terrible, why the Baconator is terrible, you know? That's great. They're trying to sell you McDonald's stuff. However, .coms are not all bad. If we go back up here to these helpful websites, hey, look at this. Wall Street Journal's listed here, but it's WSJ.com, WashingtonPost.com, USNews.com, ScientificAmerican.com. All of these .com sources are great, so don't listen to your high school teachers or your exhausted college teachers telling you don't use .coms. They're wrong. Use them, but evaluate them, okay? So, that's helpful too. Going back here, we have finding journal articles. Clicking on that, this isn't a long one to do, because I promise it's going to be quick. I think the long-standing misconception by students and teachers alike is that source material has to be incomprehensible and lofty to be any good. Don't get me wrong. There are many absolutely brilliant sources out there in the world that are superbly written, impeccably researched, and peer-edited that are amazing complements to anyone's research. But when do you actually need them? Right now, you're enrolled in what amounts to be a freshman composition course. This is practically the same course that you'd have at any accredited college anywhere in this country. You are learning how to put the material together, and you are learning how to make your voice heard. What you do not need are the amazingly intricate academic journals that are geared towards the master's level and doctorate level and beyond programs. It would be like asking my first grader to read To Kill a Mockingbird. While he might be able to get most of the words correct, he'd never be able to grasp the threads between the ideas. It's not because he's not smart enough, but it's because he doesn't have the necessary experience yet. What I'm trying to say is this. I want you to research your topic academically, absolutely. I want you to dip your toe in and wade into the databases to find those journals, but don't expect to have immediate comprehension of them. There are things that you really have to work at to understand. So if you say, Mr. Christopher, I have 2 journals here on pulsed field ablating, helping arrhythmia from the Journal of American Medical Association and the New England Journal of Medicine. I'll look at you and say, fantastic. Can you explain them to me? Because I'm not versed enough to understand the 2 top medical journals in the entire world. Can you help me? Then, after your jaw gets picked up off the floor, we can try to find more accessible source material to use. So you can use EBSCOhost to find journals. You can use Google Scholar to find journals. You can find any of the databases to find these journals. Here's the link again. But once again, if we go back here to the portal page, go to Student Success Toolbox, Library, here they are. You can use all of them. That's great. But make sure you understand what you're using. If I have any questions, I'll ask you. If you can't answer them, it's worthless to me. Now, let's talk about evaluating sources. We good so far? Good. Clicking on evaluating sources, we are now going to be talking about how to get the most out of the sources that you find, and are they good enough? The scholarly sources here are sources that are written for a high-level audience, edited by experts in the field, and published in recognizable sources. They are the best of the best, but they aren't always the best for you. Remember what I just said about my first grader reading To Kill a Mockingbird? Try this one. If you find an article that is said to be brilliant, but it's written in Swahili, and you don't speak Swahili, what good is it? Use the sources you can understand and the sources that fit your audience awareness. Now, you can click through here and expand these and read these, and this is great. Fantastic. And this will help you here. But I want to spend the rest of this page here talking about CRAAP. No, goofball. Not poop. CRAAP. And not even just simple crap. I'm talking about CRAAP. So I honestly don't know where the CRAAP test started. It might be Delaware Tech, but I doubt that. It's probably another place that we found and we thought it was really good, so we adopted it. But it's CRAAP. There's videos here that you can use to kind of walk you through what the CRAAP test is. Now, this one was created by Delaware Tech. Librarian Angeline King did this back in 2017. But CRAAP stands for Currency, Reliability, Authority, Accuracy, and Purpose. So down here, when we look at the CRAAP test poster, you can see what each of these sources mean, each of these letters mean and why. Currency has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with the timeliness of the information. I want you to find sources that are 5 years old or less. Nothing older than that. Okay? The internet moves at the speed of light. If you have a source that is 10 years old, guaranteed it's been overwritten 100,000 times. Okay? Find something that's 5 years or less. If you really want to make me happy, make it 3 years or less. But I will accept up to 5, which means 2019 through today. Okay? Relevance, obviously, you have to make sure that the material you're using is connected to your topic. Does it really help your needs? Authority, it's the source of the information. Who is the author? What is his or her credibility? What are his or her degrees? Where did they work? Are there any, problematic scandals that are in their past? Where did they have this thing published? Are there any problems with that website or that source? Accuracy, very quick and easy. Is it true? Can it be proven true or false? Can you find the same basic information in other sources to verify it? And purpose. Why does this information exist? There are really 3 good purposes. And if you think of pie, you'll think of the right letters. P, persuade. I, inform. E, entertain. PIE, persuade, inform, entertain. A lot of the sources that you will find will probably be persuasive, which is great. A lot of the sources that you will find will be informational, which is great. You can find informational sources that persuade or persuasion that has information. That's fantastic. Entertainment is the least needed of these purposes at this point, because I don't care how much you like or dislike the source. I care what you can prove, okay? So down here we have videos for each. We have currency and relevance, the CR, the first A, accuracy, the second A, authority, and the P for purpose. So you can watch all these videos if you really wanted to, okay? And that's the CRAAP test, ladies and gentlemen. It's something you heard in English 101 and something you'll continue to use in this class and beyond, hopefully. It's worthwhile, but you won't have to do it much in this level of detail as you get better at it. Yes, no. As you can see here, you can check the self-check finding resource. It's kind of like a self-quiz. You read the question, you answered it, and you just a guess, pretty sure or very sure, and you go through it. And honestly, it's not going to take you very long. It might make you feel really good about your research understanding. It might make you feel like you need to review a few things. That works as well, okay? So, we have one assignment here this week, and I really want to go over that to kind of make sure you know what we're talking about, the Unit 1 Literature Review Planner. First thing you're going to do is you're going to click on this link here, which will open up the template I want you to fill out. And then you can follow the rest of the instructions here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through it, okay? Clicking on this brings up this. The original, I hated the formatting of it, so I reformatted it for you. This one has met with widespread acclaim from my students, saying how much easier it is to use, not to actually complete. But the first thing I want you to do is put your general topic, which was okayed by me in week 1. Then, what are the things that you use to search for the sources that you're looking for? Okay? So you're going to have 6 search terms, a minimum of, and you're going to put these here. Include any and all Boolean operators, and, or not, okay? Then down here, we're going to look at the different sets that we're going to have here. Introduction. There's like 6 questions you can answer. And if you answer these questions in detail, when it comes time to put your paper together next week, you're going to find a really solid introduction. What's the general history concerning your topic? Tell me, what does society think of it? Okay? What is the world looking at in terms of your topic? Sometimes it might be you have a really intense topic, and that's going to be a long answer. Sometimes it might be that nobody ever talks about it. Okay? What's the overall debate? So show me both sides, right? And then split it out. What is one side of the debate and what is the other side? So give me your side first and then the other side, okay? So we're talking about the world needs a international cybersecurity force. That's the overall debate. I believe that this is true. Other people think it's too much international diplomacy. Okay, there you have the debate and both sides. Then we have the scope. What do you think is the purpose of researching this topic? Now, I know a lot of you want to say, I want to write the paper to pass the class. Okay, it's honest, but it's not necessarily where I want you to go, okay? What I'd like to see here is you're trying to persuade your reader to go to your side. You're trying to inform your reader about the ideas in that topic. What do you believe is important? Why do you believe it is important to research this topic? Why is your topic so important? Okay. Then you're going to give me 3 research questions. 1, 2, 3. Just type them in. And then over here, why did you ask that question? What's the purpose? I'm just going to use number 2 here since it's easier. What's the purpose of the question? Did you do this to get information? Did you do this to give background? Did you do this to persuade your reader? What was it? Why do you think it was a strong question? What could be the weaknesses of that question? And again, if you just type it in here, you'll see that the boxes will grow and shrink depending on what you type or delete, okay? So 3 research questions and answer each of these side questions for them. Then you're going to find 2 sources for me. One source is going to be supporting your side of the argument. Why do you feel the way you feel about your topic? Give me the authors, because one of the rules is you got to find sources that have authors. What is the year of publication or update, so I can check to make sure it's less than 5 years? What is the title of the article? Give me the source. So where'd you get it? Was it just from the internet? Was it just from a journal? Was it from an EBSCOhost database? Which database was it? Which journal was it? And then if you got it from the internet, what was the full URL? http://www.whatever. Okay? And then right here, I tell you in-text citations. Okay, great. And then these are the summary elements. What is one of the major details that they had? What was one of the major details in that source that really proves that source is worthwhile? And I need 3 of them. Give me the associated citation. So what you're going to do is you're going to type in the author's last name, the year it was published, and then whatever paragraph you took it from. And if you can do that, this citation will be the exact same one for every one of your major points, except for maybe the paragraph number, okay? So doing that will help. Then down here we get into our analysis. Please take this seriously. This is the most important part of your paper, in my opinion. How does the information relate to your topic or answer your research questions? How is this source relevant or significant? Answering the research questions and or prompting future research might be answers for you. Then you are going to go through the CRAAP test for this source. Currency is not going to be too difficult. It is current because it is only 3 years old. Great. You're not going to have a very long answer here. But this source is relevant because it brings up this, and this. There's a longer answer. Authority. Take a look at who the author is. What else have they written? What degrees do they have? Accuracy. Make sure that you can find this information in other places. And purpose might also be, this purpose is to persuade the audience to believe this. Whatever. Don't say this. Say something more important than that. But you can write that. What are the strengths of the source? And honestly, if there are any weaknesses, be honest about it. What are they? You're going to do that for source 1, which is the source that supplies or supports your topic. And you're going to do that for source 2, which is the other side of your argument, okay? So find a source that argues against you, and you're going to do the exact same thing for that. You're going to then write a quick reflection and answer these questions in detail. What do you now understand about your topic? Because a lot of us go into topics thinking we know everything, but we don't. What have you learned from reading those 2 articles? What patterns or themes do each of these sources show? Like, what kind of things do they both mention? What common ideas appear? What gaps were found? What did you expect to see that were missing? That's important too. And how will understanding these 2 articles and perspectives change your research process moving forward? Is there any new information that you didn't think about first that now that you've looked up these 2 sources, you need to find? Okay? Then finally, we have our conclusion. Restate the purpose and importance of your research. Review your information from the introduction and see if it has changed in any way. And then what are your next steps on research? Conclusion is not going to be that long. Last but not least, we want you to put the information down here in APA format. So APA format is not just putting http://. Okay? It is doing this. Whoa! There we go. Okay? That is a correct APA formatted reference. So I want to see them, okay? And that is your homework. Once you're done, go down to the bottom, click your submit button. I don't have one because I'm the teacher view. But you get that done, and as you can see, here you go. That's all we've got, okay? If you have any questions or concerns, please email. I hope that you are watching this video early in the week rather than Sunday night, because I'm probably not answering emails until at least Monday, if not Tuesday, because this is a holiday weekend. A lot of material is masked here as not a lot. You only had one assignment, but this video is over 30 minutes long. Hopefully, the videos continue to get shorter, and I enjoy, helping you out here, but I do enjoy talking. Have a great week. Reach out if you need me. I'll be looking forward to seeing your ideas with the literature review. See ya.